Welcome to Riverside TV. My name is Brad Pomerantz. We are joined by Robert Earl Bogan. He is the chair of the 26th annual MLK Walkathon here in Riverside. Congratulations, Mr. Chair, your first year.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
of this
that.
august organization. The MLK Walk will be held on January 21st.
That is correct.
At 8 a.m. it starts.
Yes.
Tell us about the walk specifically. Where do you go when you start at 8 a.m.?
Okay, well, first thing we're going to be doing at 8 a.m. is registration.
Okay.
And so that will give everyone an opportunity to participate and register and get a T-shirt for their registration.
Right, their participation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from there, we have some festivities.
But where do we go, literally? I mean, where does it start?
Oh, it's going to start actually at Bordwell Park,
Okay.
Stratton Center on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Cross section, cross street would be Kansas Avenue.
It's called Martin Luther King Boulevard. I mean, how wonderful is that?
Absolutely.
And then you walk past an MLK statue.
That is correct, yes.
I mean, it's stunning in a lot of ways to think that we have so many monuments to honor this man who we lost, I guess it's 50 years ago this year.
Absolutely.
Can we reflect back a bit on Mr. King, as long as we're talking about
Sure.
him? And what does he represent to you, to Riversiders, to Californians, to Americans?
I think he represents an opportunity for people to live in equity, to live a life of where everyone has a fair chance to be themselves.
A life with peace and justice.
Absolutely, yes.
Which is the theme of this
Yes, it
year. And so let's talk about that theme. I mean, we have a lot of blessings, there's no doubt, but we can say it's been a difficult year.
Absolutely.
As it relates to peace and justice, we've seen a lot of violence in our streets against African Americans, against Jewish Americans, against white Americans.
Correct.
I don't know if it's been a year filled with peace and justice.
Well, I think that, first of all, peace and justice start with the individual. It starts with me, and then as I begin to share it with others and also extend it to others, they begin to experience it as well, and hopefully they have a personal moment where they feel like, you know, this is the way I want to live my life.
But I think about you, a man who grew up in Mississippi.
That is correct.
Who now lives in Riverside.
Yes.
A community that I think it's fair to say a lot of peace and harmony here. I mean, no community is perfect, don't get me wrong.
Right, right.
But, I mean, wow, Riverside, Inland Empire, Greater Southern California, I mean, I think relations are pretty strong amongst various groups. Is that fair?
I agree, yes, absolutely.
Right.
I think it's a great city to live in. I am very proud to be a part of Riverside and to do the very best I can to have it become the inclusive community that we want it to be.
So let's talk about what happens after the walk, because the walk is about, is it 2.5 miles?
About 2.5 K is what we call it.
Kilometers,
Yes,
okay, I'm
yes.
not good with the conversion. It'll take about an hour, hour and a half.
Hour and a half, yes, yes,
Exactly,
yes.
and so we end up at RCC.
That is correct, yes.
Riverside Community College, and then the festivities really begin.
Right, and we're going to be at RCC Digital Library is
Okay.
the exact location.
And so we start by honoring our co-chairs.
That's correct.
Who are our honorary co-chairs?
Honorary chairs, that's correct.
Who are the honorary chairs this year?
Honorary chairs for this year would be Judge Ashbury, Justice Richard Fields,
Right.
Assembly Member Sabrina Cervantes,
Right.
and Congressman Mark Takano.
Right, and if you look at that group, it's a group of tremendous diversity.
Absolutely.
Ethnically, a member of the LGBT community.
Absolutely.
Latina. I mean, it's really what makes the fabric of Riverside such a wonderful quilt.
Definitely.
So the quilt's been weaved, but now we have fun.
Okay.
And so let's talk about what's happening after the co-chairs speak, because I got to imagine it's going to be a great time.
It was going to be a great time. There would be vendors there on site. There would be entertainment. The entertainment in that schedule is being organized by the Riverside Youth Council. So
I know of that group. Yeah, it's a wonderful organization. I know of that group.
And so they're the ones who are setting the schedule and getting the entertainment. And so we're just, they've had this experience before. So they would do a good job at doing
food.
Providing. There would be some
Come
food.
on, MLK. I mean, Mississippi. I'm expecting some home cooking. Is that fair?
Maybe I should set up my grill there on the side or something.
I was going to say, I mean, if I want to go on a long march or a walkathon, I'm going to be hungry when this is all over. How can we get involved, either as a walker, as a volunteer? Because I have to think you need a lot of people to walk, but you also need a lot of people to help out.
That is correct. Well, first of all, to get involved, you can go onto Facebook,
Right.
type in MLK Walk, the page will pop up, and then you can register right there at that
Perfect.
site. Or you can go to the Riverside African American Historical Society, and or RAHS, which
Right.
is RAAHS.org.
Right. RAAHS.org.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a page right there for you to actually register as well.
As we reflect on Riverside's history, it's hard to ignore the fact that Riverside was the first school district, RUSD, to desegregate voluntarily.
Okay.
I mean, it's something, it's a source of pride for so many of us. We're now in our 26th year of this walkathon. It's your first year as chair. What continues to inspire you to be committed to peace and justice in Riverside? I mean, look, I got to think you're a busy guy. Why did you decide to take the chairmanship, this year?
Well, one of the things that I found out was one of the pillars of the city of Riverside is inclusivity. And to me, to live in an inclusive community, it's an opportunity for everybody to feel like they belong. And I think it's a great way for individually as well as collectively for the community to thrive.
And are the original founders of the parade going to be there? You mentioned a name to me off camera, Rose.
Rose Mays.
Yeah, I mean, tell us about, because 26 years, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yes,
And
yes.
so I want to hear about, those early pioneers and how, I mean, they've passed leadership to you, but what about that early group?
Well, they actually were the ones who basically founded the Riverside African American
Right.
Historical Society.
Tell us more about that, if I may.
Absolutely. What the Riverside African American Historical Society is about, it's about preserving the legacy and the culture of the African American in the city of Riverside. But not only just the African American, we also focus on everybody in the community. But the emphasis, however, is on the African American community, just as there are other organizations.
Sure, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
Yeah,
not at all.
yeah.
But that's what we're doing, and they were also instrumental in getting the Martin Luther King statue there on Main Street.
What does that mean to you, to Riversiders, that statue is present? I mean, Mississippi, for some
Yes.
people, that statues, be it Martin Luther King, whatever it is, it can be I mean, it's not controversial here, but it can be controversial. What does it mean, though, that it stands there with pride?
Well, I think that it shows that Riverside is open to
Right.
inclusion, and I think that says it pretty much. That's what I experience.
Right.
And for me, from a pride perspective, I really love this city. I love the people that are in the city, and I'm having an opportunity to become more involved
Yeah.
in the city.
It's exciting. I
Yeah,
want
it
to
is.
thank you so much for taking on that leadership role. I guess you were part of a leadership academy
Yes.
that kind of cajoled you down this path.
Absolutely.
So I just want to remind our viewers, so the 26th annual MLK Walkathon here in Riverside is going to be held on January 21st.
Correct.
Starts at 8 a.m.
Yes.
If you want to either register for the walk or volunteer for the walk, you can go to the Facebook page
Yes.
and just type in MLK Walk. You can also go to the Riverside African American Historical Society's website. That's RAAHS.org. I'm going to do my best to attend. This year's theme is
Absolutely.
peace and justice. My name is Brad Pomerantz. We've been speaking with Robert Earl Bogan. He is the chair of the MLK Walkathon. You've been watching us on Riverside TV.